See the fires behind me? That's the Canadian dream burning. Prime Minister Mark Carney just told Canadians to sacrifice. The Bank of Canada admitted your income will buy less, your home will cost more, and your kids won't do better than you. I pulled the numbers. The middle class didn't fade away. It mathematically collapsed. Here's the proof. Mark Carney stood at the podium last week and said Canada must be ready for sacrifice.
Mark Carney is bracing Canadians. He warns that it will come with a cost.
We won't transform our economy. It will take sacrifices.
He wasn't talking about symbolism. He was warning that our standard of living will keep falling. The Bank of Canada backed him up. They published a forecast admitting that our economy is on a permanently lower path. That's polite language for poorer households and weaker paychecks.
The sad reality is that the economy is going to work less efficiently. There's going to be less income. So there's going to be less consumption. So yes, it'll be on a permanently lower path.
You've already felt it. Groceries up, insurance up, property taxes up, but your income hasn't moved. Statistics Canada confirmed it. Real output per person has dropped for 6 straight quarters. That means the average Canadian is producing and earning less than they did 2 years ago. This isn't recession talk. It's a silent erosion of wealth eating away at the middle class. In simple terms, the cost of staying Canadian keeps going up while the reward keeps shrinking. And the ones saying it out loud now are the ones who used to hide behind optimism. When central bankers say sacrifice, they mean you'll work harder for less. Your savings will lose value faster than you can replace them. Your purchasing power will fall behind every year. That's not speculation. It's their official position. Prime Minister Carney's warning came just days after the Bank of Canada released its latest report. In it, Governor Tiff Macklem said trade tensions and tariffs will make the economy less efficient. He said it would mean higher costs and less income for Canadians. Put that together and you have a country locked into permanent decline. Now look at the real world math. In 1976, a typical Canadian household could buy a typical home with one income and a 25% down payment. Mortgage payments took about 32% of that income. That was middle class. That was normal. Fast forward to today, that same median income can't even qualify for the median home. Even with 20% down, payments would eat 58% of gross income. No bank will approve you at that ratio. So the dream is mathematically dead. The numbers don't lie. Between 2015 and 2022, home prices more than doubled. Wages rose only about 23%. If you're seeing these numbers and thinking this is why you can't get ahead, you're right. Free breakdown of what your home is actually worth in this broken market, link below. At the same time, food prices climbed almost 9% in 2022 alone. Energy costs spiked more than 20%, insurance up nearly 30%, and wage growth since the pandemic is about 5%. Do that math. You're not falling behind because you're lazy. You're falling behind because the system's arithmetic changed. That's what Carney means by sacrifice. He's not warning of future pain. He's announcing current reality. The Bank of Canada isn't promising recovery. It's managing decline. Carney isn't offering hope. He's setting expectations. And while they manage your decline, 107,000 Canadians already did their own math. They left. Highest emigration rate in decades. They're not coming back. In the next section, I'll show you exactly where they went, why the math worked better there, and what that means for your home value right now. 107,000 Canadians already left last year, not for vacation, for good. Last month, I spoke with a family from Burlington, 2 kids, a combined household income of 180,000. They sold their home and moved to Florida. Same work, less stress. Their new mortgage payment is half what it was here. They saved nearly $4,000 a month and live near the ocean. They didn't flee politics or chaos, they fled the math. That's the highest emigration rate in decades. It's not random, it's a warning. The middle class is voting with its feet. They're cutting losses while they still can. So where are they going? The same places every economic refugee heads. South, west, anywhere the math still works. In Texas, that mortgage payment eats 28% of income. In Ontario, it's 58%. That's not lifestyle, that's survival. And it's not just families leaving. Nearly half of Canadian immigrants in the last 5 years moved to the United States, where homeownership is still possible for working people. Places where saving money doesn't feel like punishment. They're not chasing dreams anymore. They're escaping decline. The result is a quiet brain drain. Every time a skilled Canadian leaves, the tax base shrinks. Every time a graduate moves abroad, the next generation of earners goes with them. And every time that happens, the load left behind gets heavier. If you're watching this and thinking you might be next, I built a free seller guide that shows exactly what your home is worth in today's market and what your options are before the exodus accelerates. Link below. This is what economists call a feedback loop. We call it a death spiral. Canada loses talent, costs rise. Taxes climb higher to fill the gap. More people leave, and the loop repeats. And while the government calls it resilience, it's really surrender. because you can't sacrifice your way out of bad math. You can only opt out of it. And that's exactly what Canadians are doing. Every province is losing people at both ends of the ladder. Young professionals chasing opportunity abroad, retirees who can't afford to retire here. For every family that leaves, Canada loses decades of contribution. They take their taxes, their skills, and their spending power with them. It's a slow motion leak that no policy has managed to plug. And here's what almost no one sees coming. Every time a homeowner sells to leave, wealth doesn't just disappear, it transfers. From your pocket to the bank's balance sheet, one sale at a time. Let me show you exactly how that works. Wealth doesn't vanish, it moves. From the family cashing out to the institution waiting to buy. From your name on a title to a line on a bank balance sheet. That's the quiet transfer no one wants to talk about. And it's already happening. In the last 12 months, Canadian households lost more than $100 billion in real estate equity. Not because of a crash, because of pressure. Forced sales, exodus listings, people exiting early to avoid deeper losses. Who's buying? Not first-time buyers, not new families. It's corporate landlords, funds, and holding companies, the same ones that profited during the American foreclosure wave in 2008. They're not buying homes, they're buying cash flow. Your old mortgage becomes their asset. Your sacrifice becomes their dividend. It's the new real estate model. Canadians sell out of fear, corporations buy for yield, and the middle class disappears from both sides of the transaction. When prices drop, institutions don't panic. They wait, because they know fear always creates inventory, and inventory always creates opportunity. They buy the home you can't afford to keep, rent it back to the next family that can't afford to buy. The dream becomes a lease. Ownership turns into permission. In Hamilton alone, we've already seen it. Homes that once belonged to families now owned by numbered companies. Rental signs replacing sold signs. Neighborhoods that used to be owned by people now controlled by portfolios. And for every sale like that, another piece of the Canadian dream gets erased. This is how the transfer happens. Not overnight, not with a crash, but through slow motion surrender. Every time someone gives up and lists, another institution quietly moves in. It's not just real estate, it's everything that follows. Equity lines closed, pension funds strained, local spending drops, small businesses lose the customers who once lived next door, and the economy starts eating itself. That's how a market dies. Not with a bang, with paperwork, with signatures, with people trying to save themselves one at a time until no one's left to save the country. That's where Canada stands today. The warning lights are flashing, but the headlines still say stable. Inventory climbing, sales falling, prices holding only because sellers haven't faced reality yet. But they will. If you own in Hamilton, Burlington, or Niagara, and you're wondering what your exit looks like before this cycle finishes, I built a free seller guide that breaks down what your property's actually worth in this market and how to position it before the next wave of price cuts hits. Links in the description, and when they do, the buyers waiting at the bottom will be the ones with capital, not hope. Not Canadians trying to build a life, corporations trying to build a portfolio. That's why what you do next matters more than any government promise. Because the longer you wait, the more leverage shifts away from you. And once it's gone for good. Because this isn't just another downturn, it's a handoff. From a generation that believed in ownership to a system that profits from its decay. And the people who understand that transfer early are the ones who keep control. If you're in Hamilton, Burlington, or Niagara, and you're thinking about your next move, don't wait for the headlines to catch up. Get your property analyzed now while you still have options. Links in the description. The Canadian dream isn't dying, it's being sold. One home at a time, don't let yours be next.